If there's a conflict in numbers, I can't be right.
183. When did you tell you our number?
When do you tell us? When do we tell you your number?
First come, first serve, I guess. Right?
It's telling you right now.
That's what we need in the game. When you're ready.
So tournaments, have any of you seen or heard of or have any idea what it's like in one of these volleyball tournaments? It's insane. It's awesome. It's chaos. It's crazy. You talk about fast pace. I mean, again, that's what it looks like. So it's a phenomenal experience for the kids to get a part of that. It's a little bit nerve-wracking. The first time you're going to compete, you go, holy cow, there's a lot of other players. And you see some of the higher levels and they're playing, and then that's great. That's what builds character and that mental toughness. And what we're going to start, the psychology workshops, how to overcome adversity and handle your emotions and how to do all that stuff. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. The goal is to do 3 to 5 local. Local defined is within 90 minutes. And then we're going to look at doing 1 or 2 overnights. It's to be confirmed. Those are the 2 we kind of have dog-eared for right now. All of the tournaments that are available or that will be available are not currently posted. So this is going to kind of evolve as the season goes on. And what I plan on hoping on being able to do is before we book any tournaments, communicate with the parents ahead of time regarding scheduling conflicts. Because I know I have a lot of people that are unable to play on Sundays, or they know they're going to be out of town for whatever reason. So as often as we can, we're going to try to work around people's schedules. So not guaranteeing we'll be able to do it all the time, but we'll be making the effort.
The volleyball tournament world is a little bit different than most of the other sports. When a tournament comes available, you apply to participate. It is a tournament that gets back to you and says, yes, we have room for you now. Soccer, you just apply, you pay your rent. So it's a little bit different. And there will be times when we'll want to go to a tournament, we'll apply to go to a tournament, and the tournament says, sorry, there's no more room. But they won't tell us that until what we will consider too late.
Yeah.
But that's the way it is. I mean, that's the way it is. As far as tournaments for the players, for the other players, in volleyball, the players are required as they get older to become certified referees. The reason for that is when you go to a tournament as you get older, players are the ones who are going to referee the other team's games. So everybody has to become a certified referee through their system. I'm not sure that the age of 13 is required, but as you move up, they do. I don't think at this age it's required, but let's bring it out there. Once you become a certified referee, you can work for any tournament that requires some certified referees. It's an opportunity to make some extra money if you're interested.
And it's a phenomenal way to get different perspective in the game. In terms of the viewpoint, looking at it, I mean, it's also good for just the psychological.
But I just want to add, if I recall when we had the meeting, they might want to change some of this because there's bad parents out there with the young referees.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's
right now,
part of the reason.
Yeah, they might consider bringing others.
Yeah, well, when we went to the board of directors meeting or whatever it was, they said that they're trying to make a concerted effort to make sure that there's always going to be adult, professional, paid referees for all the games because, yeah, when you have the kids that are there, the parents can be kind of intense and a little into it, and that's just not, that's not fun.
But for example, the referees that we have in the recreational league, all of them, except for the one, are certified referees. They make, I think, $20 a game. So wait for them to help you pay.
Any questions on the tournaments for them?
Yes.
Are the gyms going to look like that?
Sorry?
Are the gyms going to look like that when you play?
The gym's, yeah, the gym's going to look like that when we play the tournaments.
There's a tournament,
Might be bigger than that.
there's a tournament called the Capitol Hill Tournament in Washington, D.C., which we will not go to this year. That's small compared to that tournament. That tournament has 900 teams and it is packed.
But they are fun.
They're a lot of fun.
You're going to sleep very well that night.
I keep on saying this game gets lost. Just go watch it.
How many games would you play each game?
Good question. Depends on how many you win.
Yeah, if you keep on winning, you play right up to the final. So, and that's why that endurance that I talked about is important, right? We need to teach you, to be able to play in those games. You need energy, you need to hydrated, blah, blah, blah. So, but we will go through all those.
You're gonna play at least 2 games every day. And then once you win those games, which you will, you move on to championship. Once you win that, you get the trophy. You donate the trophy back to your mom and say, thank you for playing.
No pressure, right?
All right. Bring it. Go on. We got this. Cool.
Yeah, so practice will be 2 practice sessions a week. If it comes to game time and we did want to upskill something, I know Rahul has offered the WYSC gym. It doesn't have a high roof, but we could do extra sessions over weekends if the gym is available. We could work with some skills where we don't have to require. So we have 2 gym sessions, and depending if we want more, we could potentially do that. Right now we have Ventil, we don't have confirmation, so that's subject to change. It might be somewhere else, we don't know.
The Vent Hill area where we do as a club, you request Vent Hill, and then they'll come back and tell you, yes, you can have it. We requested that because it's a nice, easy place to go up. They'll set everything up for us, and we go in, we play, we leave, they clean up. If that does not come through for us, we'll find alternatives. Whether it's having some at the gym, having some here, we'll figure something out.
You said November 14th is when you should hear confirmation.
We should know by 14th. And as soon as we put the teams together, my desire is to start practice as soon as possible. I'm not really sure when those gym times will be available, but before they're available, if we need to, we can practice at our gym. Or if we have a little venue, but I want to start practicing as soon as possible.
The one thing I'll say about this in my years coaching with CYA, where I spent a lot of my time coaching, it was 1 practice a week that was an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and then on the games on Saturday. So it's not unlike what it is currently. It's tough being able to get much done in that amount of time. So as often as I can, and pretty much every season I've coached, I've tried to do it this season, but because of limited gym space around the area and stuff, made it clear to all the parents it's not mandatory. This was with the rec leagues. I don't know if I want to say at this point that it would be mandatory, but I always look at getting creative in regards to where else can we do extra things, whether it's team building. I thought about Mason that has a game this weekend. I'm thinking about maybe bringing my team too. But I know I've rented court at Castles up in Ruston. I know it's a bit of a drive, but that's I think $65 an hour. That's where I hosted a lot of my clinics. So I figure out if you got 10 kids, they split the cost. We're there for 2 hours. So on top of what you see here, I'm planning on getting creative throughout because we've got to have a lot of time to make this happen. So this is basically going to be the bare minimum, and like you said, we kind of have unlimited use of the WYSC gym, and a ton we can do, especially with that machine. The amount of practice we can get, a lot of things, even with that low ceiling, especially when we start getting into rotations, the 6-2 and the 4-2. A lot of that is playing catch with the ball and walking through the motions. Playing catch, you don't need a ceiling at all. You can do it outside for crying out loud. So, but that's where and that's everyone here will know. The more time and effort you put into something, the more results you're going to get out of it. So we're going to really try to. Cram, that's not probably the right word, but like to do as much as we can because I want to get as much out of this for the kids.
To backtrack a little bit, what Andrew said, if hopefully those who decide to participate, every child and every parent is going to be asked to sign a code of conduct. And that implies what they should not do. One of the things they should do is come to all the practices. Everybody has a flat tire, everybody's sick and stuff like that, but the expectations are there. So if you want to sign up and you want to participate, we want you to do the same thing. And part of that is come to practice, be ready to participate.
And then tryouts. So we got tryouts November 2nd and the 6th. This is set in stone, so this is not going to change. And this is sort of a requirement that we have to hold the tryouts within a certain window, so we have to be very strict with their rules. So it's the 2nd and the 6th from 6 to 8 p.m. What I do want to say, it is not required to attend both. You do not have to attend both. And the way that we're probably going to plan on doing it, this will be verified as we get closer to that date, but we're going to look at having the first hour, so 6 to 7, be the 12U team. So it would be my tryout. Coach Yuri will probably be running the tryout, where Coach Kai and I will be observing the players. And then the second hour would be the U13 team, and it would be reversed, so that the players don't have to be there, parents don't have to be there for the full 2 hours. This will be confirmed once we verify how many registrations we have and all that kind of stuff. And in regards to it, it can get a little confusing. I've sent out a couple emails, hopefully try to make it a little bit easier. But in order to try out, you first register with WYSC. It's a $25 fee. You get a t-shirt when you actually try out that you get to keep. And then when you're registering with Sherva on their website, that's $55 to play in the, on the team. It's $55. To try out, it's only $20. So once you try out, you spend the $20, and then if you make the team, then you'd log back in, get the full year membership, and then pay the additional $35. So again, don't hesitate to ask questions. I know it can get kind of confusing. We'll give you the links for all this stuff. Bless you. And then step 3. Sorry, parents. Tryouts are closed. Just the kids. And then I want to make sure you're going to have to bring your registration card that you're going to get once you get that temporary membership for $20, and then a medical release form as well.
Players, are you reading? Sleep? Have a good night's sleep? Eat? Make sure you have enough energy. Drink some water. Okay?
All right. And then the last thing was just the offers. So after the tryouts, because I know this is going to be an interesting thing, we're going to typically get those emailed out to you a day after the tryouts. Okay? So again, that's part of
Day after the 6th.
Day after the 6th, we'll do it after the 2nd if we have players that are ready.
If you have players that do.
Yeah, so those that are trying on the 2nd, we'll make an offer for you the following day, and then the 6th would be the day after.
So my recommendation, when you get the WYC email,